Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is your boy CIZZY, you dig, live action with another episode of the 101 series, the 101 for Dumbos, Dum Dums for Dum Dums, whatever you want to call it. This is a new series we're doing, and this is episode 2. And for those of you who haven't heard episode 1, because it's not out yet, this is all about talking to individuals that have experience in specific fields or industries or niche topics, or have a little bit of knowledge about a niche topic that others might be interested in. And all we do is we dive in, we ask about 5 to 10 questions, and we discuss the topic and we wrap it up. And the goal is for individuals to come out of listening to these podcasts with new insights, new understandings, and new information around whatever that topic might be for that week. So with that being said, thank you guys for tapping into another episode of the 101 Show. Today we have another guest by the name of Glenn Craven. Go ahead and introduce yourself, my brother.
Hey everyone, I'm Glenn. Glenn Craven. I also go by Boof Chief on social media. Go check me out.
I love it. I love it, man. We're glad you're here. So before we jump into the questions today, I kind of want to, get a little bit about your background. What do you do? What are some of your interests, some of your hobbies? Where does the name Boof Chief come from? And yeah, just share a little bit about yourself before we get into the questions today.
Yeah, so I'm from Kansas City, Missouri, and I like to produce music. I design t-shirts and I go around, I sell t-shirts, and lately I've been making NFTs and just learning about crypto in general. And I spend a lot of my time just learning. And Boof Chief is kind of just an old nickname that I came up with a long time ago, and kind of just stuck, and people like calling me Boof, so I just rocked with it ever since then. And yeah,
I love it. And so you say you grew up in Kansas City, Missouri. Or did you play any sports in high school? Were you interested in music just all your life? Were you always producing and creating art, or doing graphic design or creating t-shirts? What were like some of your early interests growing up?
Well, I didn't play very many sports, but I ran track in middle school for a little while, and I had a couple weights classes, and that was about it. But for music, my dad, he played in a cover band, and he would play rock and roll and blues and stuff. They'd always have band practice at the house and stuff, and so I'd always be there with them while they're doing band practice, and he taught me to play guitar and just music in general and stuff like that. So ever since I was a little kid, I've just been around music, and that's what I've been doing ever since then, just for fun and for music, for money as well, but mostly for fun.
That's beautiful, man. Yeah, I always think about imagining what would it be like to grow up with a parent who was like super interested in in something that was more creative and not really just, obviously everyone has to work jobs at some point, but having somebody that's, somebody you look up to that's interested in a creative art and brings that energy around the home. What was that experience like? Was it a way of bonding for you and your pops, or like, what was that like?
Yeah, it was really great. It was good times, no doubt. The music was good music, and it was just really good times growing up, early on and stuff. Just having fun, listening to my dad play, and teaching. He would teach me the basics to play guitar, and he'd give me an old magazine with some tab in the back, and you can teach yourself how to play. And I just went from there and stuff.
I love it.
So it's definitely a real good experience, and they're very thankful for it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And for your music right now, how would you describe your style of production or your style of creation when it comes to the type of music right now?
Well, I mostly produce hip hop music, and that's the style that I'm just surrounded with right now, and that's what I've always appealed to, and I like the freedom of being able to say whatever you want, and not everything you want, but say what's on your mind, and
yeah, of course,
and you come up with a cool beat to really envelop what you're trying to say. And so I've been doing hip hop, but I also do whatever comes across, and people challenge me with different things, and I'll try it, like a club beat, or maybe a country beat, or something like a country trap beat, or something weird like that. I'll try it. So but mainly hip hop.
I love it. And before we jump into the questions about NFTs, ladies and gentlemen, which is the topic for today, I want to ask you one final question in regards to your music. And that question is, what are some of your early musical influences in hip hop? Like, what are 1 to 2, maybe 3 artists that really influenced your style, or maybe your interest, or really helped you fall in love with the game?
Oh, with hip hop music, I mean, the first like hip hop I was exposed to was a Eminem CD. It
Hell
was that one where he's talking about sticking nails through his eyelids or something
yeah,
crazy like that.
yeah.
I never heard nothing like that because my dad wouldn't let me listen to rap music. So when I heard that, it was just different. And that was, that was a little bit of influence. I don't listen to Eminem anymore,
Hey,
but
he's amazing. He's amazing though. Legend, guaranteed legend.
real, yeah, real early on, that was an influence. And then also maybe Black Sabbath, the rock and roll band,
Yeah,
because my dad, he taught me how to play that. That was one of the first things learned how to
yeah.
play. And I still play it today, like 10 years later, I'll still play the songs and stuff. And
I love
so
it. I love it. So
definitely.
you got a nice mix when it comes to the music that you produce. You have influences from all different types of genres. So, ladies and
Right.
gentlemen, if you're out there listening right now, you are an artist or you're a musician, make sure, aside from listening to what he has to say about what we're talking about today, make sure you tap in with him for any type of production you might be looking for. Check out his music. Like he said, Boof Chief on all
No
platforms.
doubt.
So tap in.
Sure.
So, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about NFTs today. So, we're just going to ask 10 standard questions just to give you guys some insights on what NFTs are, where the hype started, what are the benefits of NFTs, what's the future look like. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask Glenn for the question of the day. What are NFTs?
Well, for that answer, I'm gonna read the definition and then I'm gonna give my answer like a summary so that people can get the actual Wikipedia definition. Can you still see me?
Absolutely.
Okay. So on Wikipedia, the definition is a non-fungible token is a unit of data stored on a digital ledger called a blockchain that certifies the digital asset to be unique and therefore not interchangeable. NFTs can be used to represent items such as photos, videos, audio, and other types of digital files. Access to any copy of the original file, however, is not restricted to the buyer of the NFT. While copies of these digital files are available for anyone to obtain, NFTs are tracked on blockchains to provide the owner with a proof of ownership that is separate from copyright. And so, let's see, where are you? Okay. So basically, the way I explain it to people when they ask me what NFTs are, I say, well, if you have like a digital art, how do you certify which is the original and which is a copy?
Right.
You see, with real art, with physical art, you can verify that. You can get an expert to come in and verify that it's the original. And but with digital art, it's different. What's the original and what's a screenshot? And so that's where the NFTs come in. You mint your art on the blockchain, and that certifies it as the original. And people can go and look and see when it was minted, who it was minted by, and all its history, and it's just recorded on the blockchain. And it's really good for artists because it gives you control of your art. For example, my music, when I want to put my music out, I have to go through distributors and I have to put it on Apple and Spotify and YouTube, and they keep a percentage of the revenue that comes from your music and your ad revenue. I think YouTube keeps 55% of the ad revenue that comes off your music, which is whatever. But when for me, if I drop my music as an NFT, it goes straight to me from the consumer. It's the consumer can buy it straight from me, and they can have a limited edition copy that they know came from me because they can look and see that it came from my address, my wallet address, on the blockchain and all that. And it's just really, really good for artists.
So it's a great option because especially for artists, but just digital art artists, music, tickets for games. There's so many different use cases for it. But the important thing for everyone out there to realize is that this is like the strongest form of trust you can have in something. So there's literally, it can't be, like you were mentioning, you mint the NFT, it shows who created it, when they created it, and it proves that this person is the original creator of this NFT. Because
Right.
to categorize it as NFTs can be literally anything. So you're gonna hear us just say NFTs every time because NFT could literally be a fucking phone. It could be a picture. It could be a song. It could be tickets to a live event. It could literally be
A video game.
a video game. Exactly.
Anything.
So it can be anything, but the important thing to realize when we're talking about uploading it to the blockchain is it proves on a ledger who put it there, who created it, what time, and it proves you have full ownership over it. So like Boof, or however you guys want to address him, Glenn, mentioned, when he mints an NFT of his music onto the blockchain, there's nobody, there's no in between, there's no middleman. There's nobody deciding who gets what and who gets this. It's literally, hey, I have ownership over this. This money, when this is purchased, I'm the direct receiver of any benefits of this. And now that person may. So on the topic of music, can you, when someone buys your, a song of yours that you mint as an NFT, do they now have full ownership over that, or do you get royalties, or like how does that work when somebody purchases your music as an NFT?
Well, it goes like this. With the NFTs, you can plug your royalties into the NFT. So when it resells anywhere, whoever it resells to anywhere on the internet, you get a percentage of it no matter what, and it just automatically shows up in your wallet. And so for my most recent drop, I dropped like 2,000 editions of my song, and they're really cheap, like maybe 15 cents each. And I've got like 10% royalties on the songs. And so when they sell out, or I decide to get rid of all the editions and people keep what they bought, people will be able to resell them for more if they decide to. And I will get a little percentage of that, and they'll have made money off of a song they bought from me. And it's not, you know what I mean? It's not like you can, it's not like you can buy a song off iTunes and then resell it to somebody for more later on. It's almost like buying a limited edition vinyl record or something like that, where there's only so many of them that over time they gain value because, it's a limited edition. I guess, it depends on how you market yourself. If you only drop one thing and you don't follow it up, people might, not want to buy your art. So you just got to keep at it, just like anything else.
Absolutely.
You got to be persistent.
So one thing you mentioned there is actually really interesting, is like you can, artist out there, if you're listening right now, or whether you're a painter, drawer, or a singer and you're putting music onto the blockchain, whatever it might be, when you put it on there, you're the original creator, you're the original owner, but you're putting it up for sale. It can be a one of one, or there can be 2,000 pieces, like Boof was mentioning about his last project. So regardless of if it's one of one or whether it's 2,000, when somebody purchases it, you get the money from that purchase. But if they decide to resell it, they can also get money off it. So the interesting thing in the NFT world is that it's not just the creator that benefits. The consumer also benefits. The consumer can benefit monetarily, or the consumer can benefit by keeping hold of that NFT as the value in it grows, and then reselling it at a later date. So, but when they resell it at a later date, no matter if it's went from 15 cents to $15,000, and in Glenn's case, he inputted a 10% royalty on every NFT. So if that resells for $15,000 and originally started off at 15 cents, say 10 years down the line, he's going to get a 10% royalty of everything. Every time that resells, he's going to get a 10% royalty of whatever the price is at that time. So I hope that makes sense. Go ahead.
And then you can't do that with traditional art. You can't plug royalties into a painting, a physical painting, unless you put an NFT with it. And that's the thing that they're doing. They're making paintings that come with NFTs, or the NFT comes with the physical painting. And so that's a
amazing.
Whole thing.
Yeah, because some people like, and you guys will hear in episode 1, because we also talked about NFTs in episode 1. So when that comes out, you ladies and gentlemen, you would have heard it by now if you're listening, because obviously this is episode 2. But one thing that you guys will hear is that you can, like he just mentioned, is you can get the physical painting, but you can also get the NFT. So you can own the one of one in person, and you can own the one of one digitally. Now the benefit is, if the value of that one of one, now you're benefiting off the value of 2 pieces of art growing, one digitally and one in person. So you can resell that physical art, for a profit. That's why the art industry has been a great industry for rich people to get even richer.
Right.
But now you can do it on the blockchain as well, digitally.
Mhm.
And that way you can also support the artist, because after that artist sells you their painting, they no longer, their physical painting, they'll no longer make any more money off that art. That's why a
Right.
lot of artists actually, struggle with putting out art, because they're like, wow, once I sell this, like now it's no longer mine and it's just gone. I just did it for money. So people struggle with that. But with NFTs, now they can sell that beautiful piece of art that they value and still benefit off it for the life of the NFT. So
Right.
it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. So um where did all the hype start around NFTs, at least for you, from your perspective? Obviously, it's different for everybody, because somebody, some people might have found out about it 4 years ago. You might have found out about it 3 months ago. But for you, when did all
Right.
the hype start? When did you start hearing about NFTs?
Me personally, I think I started hearing about it back in February or so. And, it started for me, I think I heard maybe about Beeple or the Crypto Punks, one of those two things that I just heard about how much money they were making off their art. And, I was sitting around making nothing off my music. And I'm just so used to that. And I was so tired of it. I was in a bad place. And so that's pretty much where it started for me. I just wanted to learn something new and, and, uh, and just do something different and get recognition for my art. And so that's pretty much where it started for me personally. And I think, like you said, it started maybe 4 years ago with the Crypto Punks and a real early projects like that. I didn't know nothing about that early on, but I've learned about it since then. And yeah, so for me, it's just started back with Beeple, I guess.
Are there any projects that like really stand out to you that you really think are dope? Whether it's from a musician, I know Tory Lanez dropped a project on the blockchain. I know a few artists have done so. Are there any like projects that stand out to you that you really find interesting, or that you own, or maybe there's not? Maybe you're just interested in creating. But I just wanted to ask.
Well, I just buy from small artists, people that are maybe undiscovered, and because that's how I live in real life. I like to help people that are down bad, and so I like to do that with artists as well. I like to help small artists because you can still make some money reselling small artists' art if that's what you're trying to do, is resell it and make some money. You can still do that with small artists' art. But I don't like to give any big shout outs to any projects and any one individual, because that's almost like giving financial advice. I'm
Right.
not a financial advisor,
Makes
and
sense.
I don't want to. I got my own things to worry about. I don't want to
I feel it.
pump someone else's stuff.
No,
So
I totally understand.
you
I
know
totally understand. So yeah,
you'll
and,
understand. You'll
and like
understand once you get into it more.
hell yeah. And like you mentioned right there, like buying smaller artists and really, tapping in with smaller artists before they grow is actually a great way to not only support the artist early, but also a great way to, have a little bit of leverage. Because if an artist is bubbling and they're starting to blow, and they decide to, mint some music as an NFT for a low price, because they want to mint it for a low price, I guess, then you
Right.
can get in there early. And now as the artist begins to grow, now the artist community can also benefit off their growth. So it's
Mhm.
really cool. Like there's so many different utilities. If Glenn drops 6 songs right now and mints them all as NFTs, and I really believe in Glenn and the future of Glenn as an artist, and Glenn is building a community around him. I see that he has some support. I see that a lot of people are starting to, tap into his music and enjoy it. And I'm an early fan and I buy into his music as a consumer. I'm not only buying into it as a consumer, I'm actually buying into it as an investor, because I'm helping him grow, but also it's an investment on my part, because as he grows, the NFT grows in value. And as the community becomes stronger, then the NFT and the community grows more in value, more in value. Now the NFT you bought for 10 cents from an artist that only had 100 fans in 2018, and now that artist has 2 million fans in 2021, their 15-cent piece of, NFT is now worth 15,000.
Right. And
So
there's only 2,000 editions of that song,
exactly,
millions of fans.
exactly. So
And
which creates scarcity. Exactly.
exactly. And there's another cool thing about this dropping music as an NFT. So I put my song for like 10, 15, maybe 20 cents. It varies. But some people, they buy multiple versions, or they buy multiple editions of the song so that they can hold on to one and then resell maybe a couple more of them. Or
Uh,
they just believe that it's a good investment. And so they
right.
buy 5 editions of them and put them up immediately for resale. It's like 10 times what they bought it for immediately after they buy it.
Right, because
And
they
then,
believe in it, right?
yeah, and then some people are so nice. One person sent me 10 times what I was asking for my song, just because they thought it was such a good song. They sent me extra money just because, you know what I'm saying? Didn't even buy like extra editions. They just bought one edition, sent me 10 times as much what I was asking.
Right. And that's where community starts. That's where support starts. But that also shows you like the value behind NFTs. People love their artist. People love their favorite artist. They love them
Right.
so much. They'll drop thousands of dollars on tickets. They'll drive 9 hours to Chicago to watch them perform. So when you think about how much people care about artists, how much people care about music, you start to learn more about NFTs. After listening to this episode, you go listen to some more episodes and watch some more content, really start to learn about the space. You'll understand the value and the super dope creativity that can happen in this space around the utility and functionality of NFTs, especially for artists.
Right.
So what is like your best explanation of minting an NFT? Sometimes it's very actually simple. Once people decide to like look into it, a little bit more, you're just like, oh, minting literally just means this. Like it's very simple. So in your best words, how would you describe minting for people who just keep seeing that word all over Twitter?
Well, minting, basically, I would just say it's to certify your art. You got a digital art. This is how you certify it as yours and as authentic. And what was I just about to say? Shoot, I forgot what I was about to say. Can you say the question again one more time?
Yeah, no, I think you kind of answered it there. It's just like, what exactly does minting mean? You were mentioning that minting is essentially certifying a piece of digital art and letting the world know, or letting the blockchain know that it's official.
That's basically what it is. And what it's like once you're used to it, once you've done it before and you understand it, it's just like uploading a picture to Instagram. It's real simple.
Okay.
It's really simple when you use these marketplaces and where you go to mint your art. And it's really simple. Some of these websites are really simple. You might have to pay a gas fee depending on which cryptocurrency you're using to mint your art. But it's really simple once you understand it. It's just like uploading a song to SoundCloud or a video to YouTube or a picture to Instagram. It's really simple. You just fill it out and then you upload it.
It's like having the blue check immediately. So when you think about people on Twitter and Instagram who become, larger personalities, and they post a picture of themselves, okay, that picture was the selfie they took. It's their check marked page. We know it's their page. They're holding the phone up selfie style. We know they're the original updater. But now I might go and upload that same photo of Drake to my page, and I could claim that I'm the one that took it, but there's not really any proof. There's no check mark on my name.
It's not coming from Drake's Twitter.
Exactly.
It's like putting a blue check on your art. You're right, bro. That's a good analogy.
Exactly. Right. So that's essentially what minting is, ladies and gentlemen. I know there's like a lot of words people will see while they're, scrolling around Twitter. They're like, NFT, what the hell is an NFT? And, we kind of explained that, people are scrolling around, they're seeing minting. They're like, what the hell is spearmint gum? You're like, no, brother, we talking about minting NFTs. And so, we kind of covered that. What do you think, do you think that, I know you probably, I know what your answer is going to be, but do you think people around you and do you think the world thinks that NFTs are more underrated or overrated? And what's your thoughts around, the future of NFTs?
Well, I think the people that think it's overrated, the people who think it's overrated, they think they're just getting they're buying like something that they could just take a screenshot of, and that it's not worth anything because it's not physical. But is the money in their bank account physical? Does the bank actually have a bunch of gold to back up the money in your bank account? No, they don't. But the point is that they think it's overrated because they can't physically touch it, and they don't understand that yet, and they don't understand like cryptocurrency having money that you can't touch. And so that's what a lot of people who think it's overrated think. They think that that it's a waste of money, and they don't understand that a lot of people are making money off their art, and that artists are choosing to, instead of make physical paintings or physical art, they're making NFTs because it's so much more lucrative, and they can plug their royalties into it for life. And they don't, they sell, if they make a physical piece of art, they'll sell it one time, and then that's it. That's all the money they're going to get from it ever again. And someone later on might resell it for several millions more, 1,000% more than what they initially sold it for. And that's just how it goes for artists. But now that artist can get 10% of that 7 million resells for, and have
more.
Yeah, or more. And have $700,000 real fast.
Right, because you have the control to decide how much percentage you're going to charge as a royalty, instead of it being, the record label or this person or that person. So there's a lot more control. And the fun, we're talking about music because Glenn's an artist, and because that's where a lot of people are seeing, tweets about it and things like that. People are, all my friends, none of them really know about it aside from Tory Lanez dropping a project, and a few other people doing some random projects as NFTs. So they're like, what the hell is this? But I think if, the whole goal of doing these episodes, these one-on-one series, is kind of just have a cool little conversation around these topics, and really encourage other people to go do further investigation, and really study for themselves, what are NFTs, and then, try to understand it, read more articles, watch more videos. If this podcast didn't do it for you, search some more. What's Web 3.0? What is what does decentralized mean? Like, really study these things. And once you get in depth, just spend 1 week, spending 1 to 2 hours looking into this for a whole week, and you'll understand the value. And then if you don't understand the value, that's okay. Don't do it. Don't put your money there. Don't pay attention there. But, I think both Glenn and I probably agree that this is the future for a lot of stuff outside of art, not just music, but completely will be a huge change in how we look at a lot of shit.
Right. And I was gonna say, for people who think that NFTs are underrated, there's a lot of people out there that think that you can just go and take anything and make it an NFT and put it out there, and someone will buy it for a crazy amount of money. And it's just not that simple. It's just like anything else. You got to apply yourself. You got to make something that people want, and you got to market yourself. You got to do it every day. You got to grow every day. You got to keep building every day. And just like anything else, you got to apply yourself, and it'll eventually get easier as you go, and you'll learn, and you'll get smarter, and you'll start making money. But people think they can just drop one thing, and doesn't even have to have no effort. I mean, maybe you get lucky and you can drop something that's, random as fuck, and you'll get money. But it's better. The people who really make money put a lot of effort into their work, Right.
And they're educated. I mean, that's what it really comes down to. I mean, I kind of look at it like the stock market, man. We have so many people out here who will buy, rent. They'll hear about somebody making $1 billion in the stock market, $1 million in the stock market. They're like, oh, I'm gonna get rich doing penny stocks or doing this. And then it's like, what do you really know about that? What do you know about the business? How do they make money? How does that business grow? Like, what do you know about the company that you're investing in? How do you know, do you know what these charts mean? So you really have to educate yourself and understand, so you can make educated decisions. If you can't make educated decisions, the outcomes aren't going to be the greatest in the long term. So the same thing applies to the NFT space, to the cryptocurrency space, to the blockchain space, to this whole entire space. You need to educate yourself and go, and dive into the work, and really figure out how this new world is going to work. Because if you don't, and you're just investing blindly, throwing the money around blindly, then you're just end up hurting yourself, and then you're going to start hating on it, and then you're going to start spreading that hate elsewhere because you were ignorant in the first place. So really just take some time to educate yourself about this space. I think it'll be beautiful for whatever you do.
For sure.
I love it. So I want you to tell us, where have you learned about NFTs? Like, are there any people that you are following, any artists? Are there YouTube videos? What exactly did you do to learn more about the space? And then, just share that.
Yeah, well, I don't initially remember where I heard about NFTs from, like the first time I heard. I know it's probably either People or CryptoPunks, but from there I got on YouTube, and I just watched YouTube videos about the topic and learned how to what it all meant first, and then how to do it myself. And it was confusing and frustrating trying to do it by myself, but I eventually figured it out. And plus I was spending money at the same time just trying to learn. So it was stressful. But you know, I figured it out. And you know, you just you get on Twitter and the NFT community, and you start talking to people, and you learn from everybody. You follow a bunch of people, and the community is real connected. So information travels real fast if someone's got important information that they think other people should know. It'll typically pop up on your timeline if you just follow a couple people in the community. And you know, everyone's always watching each other's backs, trying to you know, make sure everyone's got the latest information and stuff like that. So that's why you just got to join the NFT community, they call it, and just start talking to other people making NFTs and learn. And it's fun. You meet new people and talk about art and all types of stuff. And so that's where I get a lot of my information from. It's just other artists who are in the community, and I just learn with people, you know, every day.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this episode and episode 1 have encouraged you to at least look into NFTs, to at least take a moment to Google NFT and study what it might mean, to at least take a moment to think about how the NFT space and the blockchain space can apply to your work and to your creative. Because if it didn't do that, if it didn't encourage you, then I failed, and I don't want to fail you guys. So, ladies and gentlemen, please go do some more research on NFTs. If you enjoyed these episodes, episode 1 and episode 2, please leave a 5-star review on the podcast page, on Apple, on Spotify, as that's the only way we can grow. And before we get out of here, Glenn, can you kind of share your social media pages and where people can buy some of your NFTs?
Yeah, so I'm Boof Chief on all platforms, Twitter, Instagram, you know, all music streaming platforms. On OpenSea, I'm Boof Chief. On Hikek I'm Boof Chief. Just, you know, Boof Chief everything. So go check me out. Also, All Day Yo, that's my producer page, All Day Yo. So, you know, look that up as well if you want to check out my producer stuff. So
I love it. And ladies and gentlemen, that will be in the show notes as well if you didn't catch that while he was talking there. Thank you again for tapping in. Boof, thank you again for coming on the show today. Just hold for 2 seconds after I end this call. I'd love to say thank you one more time. So ladies and gentlemen, 5-star review, share this podcast, go research NFTs. We are out of here. Salud.